Network Entertainment.
There are several legal hurdles that Vice President Sara Duterte has to get over. There is also what's going to happen in 2028 and the current political situation here in the Philippines. Former President Rodrigo Duterte in the International Criminal Court at The Hague, detained there. And who else might be joining him soon or very soon? We need to talk about this, decode, unbox, unpack. Joining me now is former Senator Sonny Trillanes. And this is Let's Talk. Senator Sonny, thank you very much for joining me today.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Pia. Yes.
Ang formal naman. Sen Sonny, before anything else, parang konting kamustahan muna.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you busy with? So since you stepped down from the Senate in 2019, ano na yung pinaggagawa mo bukod sa nagsasampa ng kaso?
Okay, after 2019, I started teaching sa UP, NCPAG, and Ateneo School of Government. So, ongoing yon hanggang ngayon. Sa NCPAG, nag-break lang ako because of the elections. Then, I'm also doing some consultation work. May ano rin ako, I've been doing some training, conducting training, training modules, seminars. So,
Yeah. Training who and what? For what?
Government employees.
Okay.
So, public policy rin. So, it's a part of a grant given. So, I was tapped by Ateneo also. So, to do the
Yeah, okay.
public policy part.
And you're teaching yung public policy sa Ateneo School of Government?
Yes.
And
yes.
this is every Saturday?
Every Saturday yan.
Okay. So, wow, Senator Sonny Trillanes, former senator, former coup plotter, now a teacher.
Yeah.
How different, what kind of fulfillment do you find in teaching? Kasi if you've been doing this for several years, that must mean you're enjoying it.
Yes, talagang it's a very different environment. Of course, galing ako, naging sundalo, and for a while, I also taught dun sa Naval Education and Training Command. So, maganda. I enjoyed that brief part of my kumbaga teaching career sa military. Then sinubukan ko, and very very sterile yung environment. Hindi siya
Hindi pa polluted.
hindi toxic yan.
Hindi toxic.
Yeah. So kumbaga very fulfilling yung ganon. Then maganda rin na I'm also learning as much as I would like to believe they're learning from me, no? Maganda engagements.
Yeah. Okay. You ran in 2022 for the Senate,
Yeah.
but did not make it.
Yeah.
And then you ran in 2025 for mayor of Caloocan,
Yes.
didn't make it either.
Yeah.
Would you have just run for the Senate instead in 2025, or you wanted to try something new, maglo-local government ka? And then ngayon sa 2028 may plano ka ba? I mean, 'di ba, parang tapos ka na ba sa politika, or meron pang something to look forward to?
Ganito yung because of the experience of 2022, nakita ko na nag-iba na yung terrain ng national politics. Talagang resource driven ito. So unless admin candidate ka, talagang you'd be very hard put in raising funds, no? Hindi yun ang forte ko no? And with that realization, I cannot compete anymore. Kasi kahit na anong gawin mo, anong visibility gawin mo, kung wala kang pangbayad ng TV ads, 1 million pesos per minute na yun Hindi ka talaga makikilala. Hindi ka makikilala at hindi malalaman ng mga botante na tumatakbo ka at all. So that's a disadvantage. Doon sa local naman, noong 2025, I was invited No? I was invited. Tignan yon. So sabi ko, sige, I'll do some consultations. So, ano naman siya, it's a different challenge. Lalo na sa Caloocan, maraming problema sa Caloocan. Ano? It's actually one of the richest in terms of revenue,
Hindi
pero
halata.
pero one of the poorest in terms of services tsaka yung per capita GDP ng mga tao. So pinakamaraming mahirap sa Caloocan. So yun yung ironic kasi nga because of corruption, bad governance, ganun ang nangyari, ang daming problema. So it was challenging kaso iba yung naging I wasn't prepared for the election day operations kasi as a national politician, hindi naman gaano binibigyan ng emphasis yun. Ano? So, yan, resource-driven yun. So, diyan na nagkakabilihan ng boto, mga ganon-ganon. So, I wasn't prepared for that. Kaya, when I started at 8%. No? Ang Caloocan is, yan yung haven ng mga maka-Duterte sa buong Metro Manila. So it was really a challenge. So but slowly we were winning them over. Then for a while during our last survey, I was able to reach 53%.
Yeah.
No? So
yeah, everybody thought you had a chance already.
yes, kaso nga because of the election day operations, mabigat 'yon. So pag binuhusan ka ng pera, tapos yung lead mo is not enough to absorb yung operations na yun. Ganon. So, I ended up parang 60-40 ang nangyari. Yun.
Okay. So, right now, you're busy teaching and then you have, sabi mo nga, consultation. Consultation nino?
Iba-iba. Iba-ibang
mga politicians, candidates,
yes,
officials.
And some sa private sector. Tapos may mga foreign entities, organizations. So yun.
Okay. And then of course you're busy filing cases. Left and right.
And that too.
And that too.
Yeah.
Nga pala, no? Parang ganon. So you filed plunder, graft, malversation against Sara Duterte.
Yes.
At the moment, it is at what stage?
Kaka-file lang. So the first step niyan is dadaan siya ng fact-finding phase ng ombudsman. So they will
And how long will that take?
Well, I hope it would be as fast as yung kung ganong kabilis prinoseso yung kay former Senator Bong Revilla. Ang bilis nun, di ba?
Yeah.
And 90 million pesos yung involved doon. So hindi mo parang compared to the billions that are involved dito sa final namin na case.
Yeah. What's the ballpark figure for this case? Ano pagsama mo na malversation, graft, plunder, 2 billion?
No.
All in all,
650 million yung confidential funds as Vice President and Deputy Secretary.
Okay.
Then you have 2.7 billion pesos confidential funds as Mayor of Davao City. Then you have yung 8 billion pesos na overpriced na laptops when she was Deputy Secretary. Then meron siyang 12 billion pesos COA disallowances, 7 billion pesos unliquidated cash advances. Then merong more than 2 billion pesos ill-gotten wealth.
Ito ba yung sinasabi mong nasa bangko?
Bank accounts, yes.
Yung bank account. Naalala ko yung the first day or the second day of her father's presidency, andun ka sa isang bangko sa May Ortigas.
Yes.
Yun yun?
Yun yun.
Okay.
And included in that, in the same documents na yun sa bank accounts na yun, yung one of the allegations, bribery and corruption, dahil she received dividends from a drug lord when she was mayor. of Davao City.
Okay. And all these allegations that are made in those charges that were filed, you're saying that you submitted evidence, real,
Yes.
genuine evidence
Yes.
for each and every one of these.
Yes. Yung first part na ando doon, yung sa Quadcom, they were able to get official documents. So, we included them doon sa FINAIL, yung sa ill-gotten wealth and yung bribery and corruption. It's from the documents that I were able to receive back in 2016 pa. So, I attached it. Yun.
Okay. Okay. Merong possible na impeachment case din ulit, di ba? Or Feb 6 or Feb 7. So, syempre, ang tanong is, bakit mo kailangan gawin to? Isasampa ito, tapos meron ding impeachment. Di ba?
Yeah.
Would this be like, although it's not a strict definition, would this be almost like forum shopping? Kasi naghahanap ka ng paraan para makasuhan at and well, you hope na ma-convict, no, si Sara. So kung hindi impeachment, baka ito
Hindi naman kasi yung impeachment is administrative in nature.
yeah.
Ito criminal case in nature itong ombudsman. So ang penalty na impeachment is removal from office lang. Ito may pagkakulong.
Yeah.
Kaya pwede siyang hand in hand na ano. So it's not forum shopping. In fact, dapat talaga sabay sila. Para talagang mananagot, di ba? Yun.
But did you have a lot of help with it for this? Marami bang tumulong sa'yo?
Yes, marami
Like
kong nakuhang mga ebidensya. Itong kay Mr. Ramil Madriaga, so it was also referred to me. So in-interview ko rin siya sa detention. Tapos yung ibang mga nag-furnish ng documents. So it was a collective effort. Yeah.
Yung bank deposit na sinama mo doon sa kaso, what kind of evidence do you have? Is there a bank certification to say, yes, Miss Sara Zimmerman Duterte has this much money in this bank? What will prove that not just that they have an account there, pero kung magkano nasa loob?
Yes, kasi ganito, no? Back in 2016, somebody gave it to me, some documents na containing flag transactions of the Duterte family. So, back then, I filed a plunder case against Digong Duterte using that as one of the attachments.
Yeah.
Nung inimbestigahan ng ombudsman yon, kumuha sila ng documents from AMLAC and they confirmed na it's basically the same. Kaya, na-confirm na yon. So, that time, around 2017, itong si Digong, knowing na na-unearth na yung sikreto niya, tinanggal niya yung nag-iimbestiga from the ombudsman. So that effectively stopped the investigation. Now, so as far as I'm concerned, na-confirm na already, na validate na yun. Then, fast forward tayo ng Quadcom, magkasama kami dun sa one of the hearings, present ko yan. And sinabi nung one of the chairman nung Quadcom, diner siya, okay lang ba sa'yo, Mr. President, kung magpipirma ka ng waiver ngayon para to settle this thing once and for all. So, gumawa siya ng eksena, yun yung
Gusto ka niyang suntukin, ano?
Gusto niya akong hagisan nung mic. Then, yun na yun. Parang change topic, di ba? But, makikita natin, doon sa demeanor niya, he had every opportunity. I was raising this, the whole 6-year term niya, I was raising it. And, but he never, took up the challenge. Dun sa, pumirma ka ng waiver. Kasi when he accused me of having foreign bank accounts, I signed a waiver, tapos dinala ko pa yung media dun sa Singapore, dun sa one of the banks na sinasabi niya may account ako. And it took the reporters themselves to hear from the bank manager na walang account dito si Mr. Trillanes. And eventually, Duterte himself admitted na inimbento lang niya lahat. So, I did all of that to prove my innocence do sa allegations niya. And yet he keeps on diverting the issue. So, yun lang basic demeanor na yun. Huli na. Pero meron na kaming dokumento. Yun na galing sa ombudsman.
Yung
So,
sa
confirm
AMLAC,
na yun.
yung certification
Galing
ng
sa AMLAC.
AMLAC na
Yes.
merong flag. Yung flagged amounts
Flag transactions.
is what? What is the figure?
Ang total,
Yung total na sinasabi mong 2 billion?
accumulated is more than 2 billion pesos. Tapos there is a portion there na they were getting money from a known drug lord na inexpose ni Mr. Las Cañas. Lahat ng members ng family, meron silang cheque under their names, manager's checks. So,
Deposited
yun.
to that account?
no, it was given to them na ini-encash nila under their name. So, kaya lumabas yun. Ngayon, all of these things, lalabas yan sa impeachment impeachment trial.
Sa impeachment trial and or this case that you
Yes.
filed before the ombudsman, if it gets to first base, eventually you hope, no? Para bang you're like a thorn in their side that refuses to
go
get
away.
dislodged and go
Yeah.
away.
Ako naman, I would like to believe I'm just being consistent. Since 2003 pa, it's always been an anti-corruption advocacy. So, yun.
Yeah.
Whether
Ang dami mo nang
presidente,
kinalabang
hindi.
presidente.
Oo, so,
si Gloria.
yeah.
Tapos si Digong, si Duterte.
Yun, may vice president pa. Kumbaga,
Yeah.
it's just being consistent. Kumbaga, I would like to believe that I was elected back in 2007 based on that anti-corruption advocacy. So I'm just doing that. Ngayon, di ba dapat yun ang gawin? So, yun lang.
Yeah. But of course, like you say, you believe you were elected in 2007 because of this anti-corruption advocacy. And your election was also because you became very popular, famous or infamous, as far as some people are
Notorious, yeah.
concerned. Notorious, di ba? Because of all those attempted mutinies that you led, right? So, I mean, everybody remembers. I covered Oakwood Mutiny and lahat ng nangyari after. Na-interview pa nga kita, nasa loob ka pa ng Aguinaldo for Strictly Politics, my old show. And I remember, habang nag-usap tayo, biglang kinat yung linya. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, andyan yung parang yung history mo, that, like you said, since 2003. So, it's been like 23, 24 years na ganito. And it seems like you're never gonna stop. So, what is next for you for itong 2028? Are you like, I know you said you don't think you'd run again, but what are you, or pwedeng ganito na lang?
Well, ang kung kasi is, I would like to believe what I'm doing is part of the public service, di ba? You don't need to be in government to do public service. So, ganun lang. I believe may problema tayong kinakaharap.
Yeah.
And I can do something about it. Specifically, the prospects of having another Duterte rise to power.
You think
to
these
the
cases
presidency.
will stop a Sara Duterte presidency?
I certainly hope so. Kasi yun yung way ko na para ma-expose sila, para makilala sila ng mga tao. Kasi iba yung pagkakilala ng mga naniniwala sa kanila na tingin nila they are good public officials, but they're not. They're very corrupt. Tapos they use violence as part of their governance approach. So, hindi to pwede. And nakita nyo naman si Sara during her two public meltdowns. Alam mo na there's something wrong up there, di ba? Tapos, bibigyan mo sila ng power of the presidency. Talagang, that's a recipe for disaster. Ako nakikita ko na yon. yung dangers na yon. Tapos, I can use the 6 years of Duterte, the father, as a basis kung paano sila mag-misgovern, mag-abuse ng power, mangurakot, lahat, sindikato, yung China, pumasok na, Pogo, everything. I don't want our country to relive that nightmare.
Yeah.
So,
But what makes
Yeah.
it different this time around, you think? Because in like you said, no, 2016. So, you went after them, right? Okay, and we remember that. I remember the time you were in that bank in Ortigas, and then all those years that came after that. And yet, in spite of what you said about Sarah, she was still elected vice president.
Yeah.
Diba? Binoto pa rin siya ng tao. Mas lamang pa yung boto niya kaysa kay BBM. Diba?
Yes.
Binoto pa rin siya ng tao. And until now, her numbers show that she is quite the figure to contend with.
Yes, but remember, back in 2016, when the father ran, hindi pa siya kilala ng tao na the way ngayon na lumalabas yung iba't ibang issue. So unknown entity siya. Noong 2022, ganun din si Sara. All of these issues hindi naman lumalabas. Kaya ganun siya. Ngayon, ito pinapalabas na ulit. 'Di ba? Na tipong ito yung mga problema diyan sa tao na 'yan. Ngayon kung iboboto pa rin nila, let's say, kanyari, ito na, sinasabi ko practically na magnanakaw ito, abusado ito sa kapangyarihan, kapag binoto nyo pa rin yan knowing that, tapos ninakawan ka at inabuso yung kapangyarihan, huwag ka na magreklamo kasi you got what you asked for. Ganun lang yun. So, eto, I'm just doing my civic duty, so to speak, of exposing them.
Okay. Itong 2028, no? So, syempre, we talked about Sarah and, I mean, malakas pa rin naman talaga siya, di ba? But in the opposition
Yeah.
to which you belong, although not really opposition because you're not really
Yeah.
you're not really opposed to
Parang
to the
middle forces
Marcos
na.
administration. Parang middle forces,
Yeah.
no. What's this? I did have Senator Risa Ontiveros as a guest on this podcast, no, and I asked her about the process that is being followed now, no, because kailangan mamili yung ang forces nyo, whether you're opposition or middle forces, no. So ang tatlo nga yung parang pinagpipilian ngayon, di ba? Can you give us your insight into that? You know, what is happening in that regard? Because although, you know, some people would say it's 2026, it's too early. It's 2 years and 3 months before the elections. Pero ngayon pa lang, inaayos nyo na ang mga hanay ninyo.
Actually, it's too late already. Di ba? Kung may natutunan tayo nung defeat nung 2022 is because we started out too late. Di ba?
Lenny's
Yeah.
decided in October? Was it October?
Late September.
Late September. Tapos October nag-file ng
Yeah,
COC.
so-
2021. Okay.
Hindi na nga nangyari yan. Hindi umubra, kumbaga. And the stakes are higher in 2028 kasi iba na ito. Kung mananalo si Sara Duterte sa 2028, knowing her, no, na profile ko, anong capacity niya, hindi magsusurvive yung demokrasya natin. Okay, and I'm not overstating it. And package siya na, si Sara, presidente mo, si Pulong ang gagawin mo speaker. Di ba? Nakita niyo yung video ni Pulong na yung sasaksakin niya yung bugaw. Ganon yung trademark nila. Then you have Baste probably as a member of the cabinet. So after 6 years niyan, papalit-palit na lang sila magkakapatid hanggang kay Kitty yan. So you'll have probably 30 years of a Duterte. Buti sana kung magagaling sila. I won't get in their way. Kaso bukod sa sobrang pagkakurakot nila, they don't recognize any rules. The way yung na-uncover namin na mga dokumento. Kaya when they were finally checked dito sa confidential funds nung Quadcom, doon mo makita na, ganun ka-brazen sila mag-liquidate ng funds. Walang, no disregard, no regard whatsoever sa rules. So they use ghost employees, fictitious name, just lang. Kasi takot sa kanila yung mga COA, auditors Nagbibigay lang ng audit observation memo, pero hindi makapag-suspend kasi papatayin nila tas nagpresidente pa yung tatay. But now we got all those reports out and we can pin them. Ngayon, pagka kasi presidente na, yun na, impunity na. The father, documented yan, we saw it, thousands yung pinapatay. Di ba? At itong anak, won't be any different. Mga violenteng tao sila.
Okay. So, who's going to be your candidate?
Ang kon kasi is si Senator Risa is spearheading yung consolidation ng iba't ibang mga puwersa. Kasi she believes ganun dapat ang first order of the day, tipon-tipon tayo ulit at mag-agree tayo ng isang proseso na pipili ng isang kandidato na susuportahan nating lahat. Di ba? So,
But the mere fact na kailangan i-unite, meaning
kasi to be honest,
you're in
napabayaan
disarray.
yun. Yeah, napabayaan. And okay, maraming magagalit sa akin ito, but whose responsibility was that? It was Lenny's responsibility. Siya yung symbolic leader ng yung mga kakampings, di ba? But when she lost,
Kaya maraming Lenny galit sa'yo
Yun na nga Yun na nga. But
and they can say, mayor siya ng Naga ngayon.
No, but
di ba yun na yung focus niya?
She's mayor of Naga now, 2025. But after 2022, she remained the leader of the kakampings. Pero pinabayaan niya Alam niyo, nagagalit sila sa akin because kumaga, very blunt ako sa sa pag sinasabi ko. Hindi ko sinusugarcoat. If I don't sugarcoat it kina Duterte, why would I sugarcoat it supposed to be dun sa leader natin? Ngayon, pinabayaan niya. Ano nangyari ngayon? So, nagkalat. Nawala. She was holding on to a 30% voter base because that's what she got. Kung sana after nang natapos yung eleksyon, inikutan niya at kinonsolidate niya. Dito tayo para tayo pa rin yung magiging boses kung may pang-aabuso nung kung anong administrasyon. Then, ito sana ngayon. Buo pa ngayon. At least kung meron kang 25% base na pwede mong ipaling kung kanino man. But we're practically starting from scratch.
Okay.
So yun. Di ba? And yun ang naging problema. It's the leadership.
Yeah, I can see the headlines now. Trillanes, sinisisi si Lenny, and then magre-react naman yung mga Lenny, magagalit sila na naman sa'yo, no? Meron ding mga sila sinasabi na you don't speak for her. Because, this is because ang pinag-uusapan din kasi, and tinanong ko rin kay Risa okay, so dalawa yung tanong sa kanila, kay Risa, kay Lenny at kay Bam, di ba? Are you open to running for president and are you open to supporting a common candidate?
Yeah.
So si Risa, sinabi niya doon sa podcast episode ko na kung ano yung naging sagot niya. So tinanong ko, ano yung sagot ni Bam at ni Lenny? Well, you have to ask them. Okay?
Yeah.
But do you know, Sansani, do you know kung ano yung sagot nila, ni Bam at ni Lenny?
Hello everyone! Ako po si Baus Rufo, ang host ng podcast na Kaya Pa Ba? Ang pinakabagong talk show kung saan tinatanong namin kung kaya pa nga ba talaga? No, it's an interview show featuring my favorite content creators, celebrities, or just my favorite taga-benta ng turon. Who knows? Go listen to it now on Apple Podcast and Spotify.
Ang sa pagkakaalam ko, si Bam is open,
Open to both question number 1 and 2. Open to running for president and open to...
I believe so. Oo.
Okay.
yun yung nakarating sa akin.
Yeah.
Itong kay Lenny, sinabi niya, hindi na siya. Wag na siya. Wag na siya i-consider for 2020. Nag-decline na siya. But then,
Who did she tell na nagde-decline siya?
she was asked several times. Itong latest, si Senator Kiko, sinabi niya sa video niya na nag-decline. So, ganun.
Okay. Wala na bang iba? I mean, bukod sa silang tatlo? And also, I mean, bukod sa tanong na wala na bang iba, because there is also that one other window, kumbaga, one other possibility of an alliance with the Marcos administration. And there are numbers to show in a survey right after the elections that there is that kung kayo middle force, meron pang isa pang middle force eh. May mga undecideds eh.
Yeah.
Di ba?
So, yun naman yung mga apolitical or non-affiliated. Pero, yung alliance nga na yun, yung coalition na yun, yun yung pinupush ko personally.
You believe it's gonna work?
We can make it work if we want to,
Yeah.
di ba?
But you have to
I
consider
think
also
it's-
baka si Presidente may kandidato din siya or sila, hindi ba?
Well, yes. Pero ngayon kasi hindi pa nila, ang mangyari kasi muna dito is, we will try to push our own candidate. They will try to push their own candidate. But let's say middle of the year, next year, if it's not working, kung kulang pa rin yun, then it would be wise to open that coalition. But I'm floating the idea now para yung mga purist within the ranks ng mga kakamping, maano na nila, ma-break in na nila in their minds. Kasi hindi na pwede yung exclusive masyado. Kasi pagka ganun ng mindset mo, buti sana kung lamang na lamang ka. We don't
hindi.
even have a candidate yet eh.
Yeah.
Di ba? So, ganun yung nagiging tendency. Parang nagiging masyadong high and mighty eh. Yung
Yung
approach.
exclusive na parang kami lang yung
Kami
magaling, kami
oo.
lang yung
Ayaw
matuwid.
naming
parang ganun.
madungisan na ganun. Well, mangyari nito, hindi tayo mananalo. Ganun. Kung meron talaga tayong rising star na kaya manalo on our own, okay yun. Walang problema doon. But we don't have that yet. So makikita
Sa
natin yan.
2034 pa yan. Ano? Si Vico?
Yes,
Oh,
So yan
okay.
yung isang tinitingnan. But our democracy may not survive by then kung ibibigay natin ito. Ganun naman yung mindset ko. And ako kasi, ang kagandahan nito by taking myself out sa elections as a candidate, I can freely speak Nakitong kahit magalit yung supporters ni VP Lenny o Mayor Lenny, ganun talaga The truth hurts
Yeah.
Kasi I give a lot of premium sa leadership. Ando doon siya. She was the leader. Kaso, wala Di ba nangyari? Wala nangyari. So ngayon, where are we now? In limbo tayo. It would take people like Senator Risa, Senator Bam to pick up the pieces together when it was her responsibility to do that. Na tipong intact ito. Kaso he just stepped back and went back to her shell. Hindi yun. It's not a part-time thing
Yeah.
Pagka political leader ka, mabigat talaga yan.
But doesn't everyone have a right to make a decision about his or her life? I mean, if that is what Lenny wanted talaga, no? Teka, mayor na ako ng Naga, I'll concentrate on this.
But is that her decision? Do we actually know her decision? Di ba?
Yeah.
She's keeping everybody guessing na she will not close her doors until sa dulo. Paano yun? It's unfair to everyone.
Yeah. Balik tayo dun sa sinabi mo, Sen, yung if it's an alliance with the Marcos administration, with BBM and his group, but dapat by middle of next year. But middle of next year is June, July 2027.
Yeah.
And filing of COC is October.
Yeah.
So parang medyo napakaliit ang window na yan.
Yes, but ito naman yon. Hindi naman ibig sabihin nun, mag-aantay ka lang until that time. Kundi, we will be promoting our candidate. They will be promoting their candidate kasi they would like to believe that they can make it
Yeah.
on their own. Pero malalaman yon by middle of the year next year. Kunyari, if our candidate lumamang kay Sara by middle of the year next year, hindi mo na kailangan ng coalition. Di ba? But kung ganun din sila, kung
Really, but
kandidato
wouldn't
nila.
it be the better option to
Yes, but
ally, to coalesce with BBM?
yes, but the instinct is kung lamang na lamang ka, bakit pa? Parang ganon. Ganon din mindset nila.
Yeah.
Kung yung candidate nila, lamang na kami, hindi na namin kailangan, bakit pa? Pero kung parehas sila,
magiging three-way fight naman,
Oh.
Sus Mariosep.
kung
Goodbye,
kaya nga kung sa three-way fight, kasi hypotheticals to eh.
Yeah.
So in a three-way fight, if lamang na lamang yung kandidato natin, ang tendency nung is we can go at it alone, parang kay Pinoy, di ba? Hindi mo kailangan ng coalition. Ganon din yung attitude ng admin. Yung kandidato na kung lamang na, bakit pa natin kailangan yan? Then, pero pagka pareho yung kandidato nila at ang kandidato natin ay hindi na namin
Oh.
ay hindi siya ganon, hindi na lamangan si Sara, doon ngayon magsisimula yun out of necessity.
Yeah.
So the circumstances by then would
Will
dictate
make that
kung anong gagawin.
Will help you make the
Oo,
decision.
kung kailangan mo
Yeah.
coalition or not.
This early na ba, are there like surveys to show you, which road you should go down? Meron na ba? And then, because, maganda pa rin ang numero ni Sara eh. Di ba?
Doon sa, but relatively or comparatively from where her father was, and where she was, ngayon mababa na yun. Number 1 siya, pero hindi na to kasing taas. And I know that na kasi yung panahon na bago namin inimbestigahan si Binay noon, napakataas ni Binay. VP Binay, nasa low 80s, mid 70s sa mga 4-way, 5-way race. Pero after the investigations, bagsak siya.
Yeah.
So, ito si Sara ngayon, she's hovering in the mid-30s eh. Hindi yun. Hindi ko na numero yan. So, may mga surveys na ginagawa. In fact, we're doing our own internal surveys para makapag-strategize kami kung anong nangyayari, di ba? Ano yung mga areas talaga na pwede pang trabahuin, pwede So kumbaga, marami ito. Marami pang developments. Pero ang bottom line, you have to do something. Hindi ka pwedeng passive dito. And yun ang na-appreciate ko with both Senator Bam and Senator Risa. Proactive sila in consolidating the forces.
Why not BAM as standard bearer? So you can have another President Aquino if he wins.
Ano yun eh?
It's a good name, no?
Yeah, it's part of the process eh. Kailangan magsasubmit tayo sa proseso. Kung siya talaga, di siya. Di ba? Walang doon.
Yeah.
Itong ano lang kasi, kailangan lang kasi muna ng ibukas yung isip ng lahat na kasi iba nostalgic eh. They're still holding on to a Lenny Redux, yung bang do-over. Ayaw na eh. Nagsabi na eh. Ilang beses ba tayo sasabihan na ayaw niya na? Di ba? From where I came from, pag sinabi mo, ayaw mo na, yun na yun.
Yeah.
Ngayon, ang it matters kasi yung pag sinabi niya na yun. Kasi yung proseso, it will affect the process eh. Kasi if she can be a king or queen maker by being one of the conveners na tipong, okay, hindi na ako tatakbo, but I will support.
I'll throw my support
I
behind
will throw support. I
whoever,
will campaign kung sino man ang mapipili. Hindi talagang hangaan na siya as parang political icon na talaga siya. But if she's not doing that, ibig sabihin, that door is still open for baka magbago isip niya. And that will throw a monkey wrench sa buong selection process.
But let's say she decides now, you know what? Okay, I'll make a go of it. I'll run for president. would she still be a strong candidate against Sarah this time?
Okay, ito yung mangyari. If she does that now, today, no, both Senator Bam and Senator Risa 100%
Will support
would
her.
defer sa
Yes.
kanya. Hindi na kami wala na tayong proseso, ikaw na. Kahit quietly to, hindi naman declaration ang hinihingi sa kanya. Kahit quietly, gawin niya yon. Magandang starting point ngayon. She can do that. But will she do that? I seriously doubt it. Kasi I
Because
saw
we've heard
I saw her
different
in
people
action.
speaking for her. But what you're saying lang is that if she does it now, then parang tapos na, okay na. That's it, no?
But that's the first step only.
Yeah.
Kailangan mo nang gawin yung legwork.
Yeah.
Hindi pwedeng by proxy eh. Yun ang nangyari kasi. Yun yung leadership style niya, if you call that leadership at all. It's people doing things for her.
Okay.
Hindi pwede yun for a presidential candidate. Si Cory, she was at the forefront, di ba, of nag-civil disobedience pa, I remember, then lahat ng mga protest act, she was there. Nung magpipilian, nag-step back siya. Alam niya yung limitations niya, o sige, subukan niyo kayo. Pero eventually, when nakita na talagang wala, sige, di siya na. But she did the legwork. Di ba?
Okay.
So, hindi pwedeng yung passive na, okay, go, you do things for me on my behalf. It won't work.
Yeah, okay. There's another person, very important person in this equation that we need to talk about. President Marcos.
Yeah.
Do you talk to him about this? Would you know how he feels about this whole scenario? No, we're talking about a possible alliance, no, and you're saying na dapat bukas ang isip ng mga tao sa ganito, yung grupo ninyo, di ba? Meron ba siyang sinasabi about that, or it's not something that you talk about? You talk about other things, more pressing matters.
No, I think there is a proper time for that. But first is dito muna, no?
Mag-ayos-ayos muna
Kumaga,
kayo.
may proseso eh. Kasi mawawalan ka lang leverage if in disarray pa yung hanay natin. Tapos, di ba, mag-forge tayo kagad ng, ano yun?
Okay.
Hindi
So para
maganda
bang
starting point.
magkakaayusan muna kayo, you'll fix everything muna in your backyard, and then I guess BBM will do the same for his. And then, like you said, then let's see what happens. Okay. Speaking of another, a former president, former President Rodrigo Duterte. So, andun na nga siya sa The Hague, no? There's all this talk about na may susunod na raw sa kanya sa detention facility. And for example, si Ombudsman Boying was saying na meron nang arrest warrant, etc. But you would be the perfect person to know if there is one. You know, what is the status? Oh, sorry. Again, it's arrest warrant for Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Okay. I really can't confirm nor deny anything, no. That's just the fact of the matter, and I will leave it up to Bato to determine meron bang warrant o wala. It's his call, di ba? He can ask around different agencies kung meron. Kung wala, edi ba't ka pa nagtatago, di ba? So,
Baka may alam siya na hindi natin alam.
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
And ngayon, kung meron man, ako advice ko lang, hindi ba mas maganda na mag-volunteer ka na, tas samahan mo na si Digong doon. Anyway, he professed loyalty and devotion to Duterte. At talagang partners sila in crime, literally. So bakit, 'di ba? And alam nyo, palagay ko si Digong nga, sabi na healthy living na doon, finally. Stress-free living. Ganon din kay Bato. Regularly, mabibisita siya ng pamilya niya, imbis na ngayon. Pagka nagkamali, pagka ang natiktikan yung mga pamilya niya, pagka nagkahulian, hindi cuddling fugitive pa yun. 'Di ba? So,
What are you saying? That the family could be liable?
Well, sila ngayon yung magiging responsible kung ba't mahuhuli yung tatay nila. Mahirap yun. Di ba? Nilalagay mo sa ganung peligro. Yun lang. Yun ang ano doon. Kaya maganda ng harapin na lang yan, di ba? And fight it out. Kung naniniwala silang inosente sila din,
Okay.
go.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you say you can neither confirm nor deny NCND, but that's an acceptable answer. My next question would be, what is the process? So the International Criminal Court would have to issue a warrant of arrest in written form, of course. And then what happens next? It is transmitted to who? And then ano yung dapat mangyari? Proseso lang naman pinag-uusapan natin.
So, dalawang proseso ang pwedeng gawin dito. Both official. Is either through the DFA, dun sa embassy ng the Netherlands, Philippine Embassy sa the Netherlands, pwedeng dun ibigay. Tapos, dire-diretso tatransmit dito DFA, then yun na, officially transmitted yun. Meron din yung via
It's the
Interpol.
actual arrest warrant, or
The
there
actual
is
arrest
a
warrant.
document that attached to it.
So it's the actual an actual arrest warrant. So yun lang naman yun eh. Ibibigay lang officially doon, either sa Philippine Embassy sa the Netherlands or itatransmit via the Interpol channel dito sa Philippine desk dito. So yun lang yung ways.
Yeah.
Then deemed officially transmitted na yung warrant. Yun.
Okay. When you say Interpol, and then that means, of course, and even if it goes to the DFA, whether DFA or Interpol, they will have to hand it over to the Philippine National Police, law enforcement.
Eventually.
Eventually.
So, ipapasa na yun ng presidente dun sa enforcing agency. Implementing agency.
Si Bato, would you describe it as he is in hiding? Is he in hiding already? Yun na ba yung ano?
He's in hiding.
Hindi na ba siya magpapahuli ng buhay? Ganun ba yun?
I believe so. Mukhang yun na yung sa pananaw niya na ito na yung he would rather live a fugitive lifestyle than yung nangyari kay Digong. And hoping na pag nanalo si Sara, sasabihan ni Sara na wag niyo huliin si Bato so he can walk freely. Yun ang
And she can
kanilang-
do that if she were to run and win as president and be president. She can tell
Yeah.
our law enforcement agencies, no, you're not serving that warrant of arrest.
Kasi she can always say hindi na tayo hindi na tayo member so wala nang jurisdiction. So yun.
Can that apply in this case? Hindi na tayo member, wala na tayong jurisdiction, therefore hindi natin huliin si Senator Bato.
No. Pero yung warrant na yun kasi valid siya because the acts happened when we were still a member of the ICC at maliwanag yung Supreme Court noon. Pero siya as commander-in-chief kasi kunyari si Sara yung commander-in-chief, yung PNP siya yung pinakang boss eh. Pag sinabi, wag niyo huliin yan, hindi siya huliin. Kahit na maliwanag sa Supreme Court na dapat huliin mo kasi ano yan. Pero there is no compelling reason for them to tell Sara to do that.
Yeah. Meron bang pwedeng pumigil sa arrest warrant? Meron bang, to stop it and say na in the present day na hindi mahuhuli si Bato. Hindi natin siya pwedeng padala sa The Hague.
Walang ganun. Ang sinasabi nila, there is a new ruling ng Supreme Court, pero sinasabi ng Supreme Court doon, habang dinedetermine kung i-extradite ka, kasi dalawa yung mode yung extradition. Ang dinefine ng Supreme Court is rules on extradition. Pero we have a law, yung Republic Act 9851, na nakalagay doon, you have two modes. I-surrender mo yung akusado or i-extradite. ore nakalagay. So yung ginawa kay Duterte, that is the surrender mode.
Surrender.
So pwede pa rin gawin yon if the president would want to. Ngayon, kung gusto nilang, sige, extradite natin, nakalagay naman dun sa rules on extradition, habang dinidecide yon yung merits ng extradition, nakadetain ka pa rin sa NBI. Yun ang ano doon.
Okay. When or if the warrant of arrest is finally and formally transmitted, because earlier you said, tingin mo kung si Sara maging presidente, she would not allow him to be arrested. The president at this moment is BBM, President Marcos. Would he authorize or order the arrest or hand over that warrant of arrest of the ICC to law enforcement agencies para ma-aresto nila si Senator Bato?
Ang palagay ko, hindi niya gagawin yon proactively. No? So, and it won't be wise.
Hindi kailangan dumaan sa kanya?
Sorry?
Hindi kailangan dumaan sa kanya? Is that what you mean?
No. Kailangan dumaan sa kanya.
Yeah.
Siya mag-uutos nun eh.
Oo.
Pero palagay ko, komportable siya doon sa status ko na nagtatago lang si Bato. He doesn't mind either way, I think. No? Kasi kung talagang it bothers him o kailangan niyang dalhin si Bato sa iutusan niya itong DILG to do that. Di ba? So ngayon, parang dito tayo sa limbo na kung maaresto ba siya o hindi. So it's up to Bato.
Up to Bato? So, are you saying that BBM would, parang mas, like you said earlier, mas maganda mag-surrender na lang siya. Is that the scenario the president is looking at, hoping? Or
No. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is the fact na wala namang any statement from Malacanang on his behalf about Bato, whether hanapin o hindi hanapin. Ibig sabihin, he's comfortable with the status quo. Kung ano man yun. So, yeah.
comfortable with the status quo. But when that warrant of arrest is formally transmitted,
assuming there's a warrant, kung itatransmit siya, pwede kasing gumawa ng mga legal remedy si Bato eh. He can actually stop the implementation of the warrant through a petition for a TRO. Assuming mag-grant yun, edi ngayon pwede na siya makalaya. Oo.
Okay.
Which is worse than the status quo kasi ngayon hindi siya nakakagulo sa Senado eh. Di ba?
Okay.
Oo. He's wondering may warrant o wala. Pero pagka may na-transmit yung warrant and everybody knows there's a warrant, pero pagka tiniyaro naman ng Supreme Court, edi makakagala siya.
Yeah.
Freely.
Okay. One of my last questions is a few months ago nung kunyari nag-September 21 rally, no? Tapos November 30 rally kasi yung mga nagtawag ng rally at lumabas sa lansangan mga talagang galit sa lumitaw at lumabas na mga balita tungkol sa I mean, we're all taxpayers so it really hurts, di ba? Yeah. Para bang dyan pala napupunta yung binayad ko. And then there was some talk about may hinihikayat ng mga military officers. So halimbawa, di ba, lately lang na aresto yung isang retired general, may isang colonel na nag-withdraw ng support sa kanyang commander-in-chief. Goodbye, colonel. Ganun. Should we be worried about things like that? And this is going to be interesting perspective from your point of view because you were once in that position. But now, do you see a more professional armed forces, one that respects and stands by and is loyal to the Constitution and duly constituted authority? In this case, the Commander-in-Chief, President Marcos.
So, Well, una-una may totally different circumstances, no? Nung mga panahon na yon, yung sweldo mababa, antiquated yung mga gamit, tapos marami pang iba, no? Yung military corruption talagang very rampant nun.
Yeah.
Sa ngayon kasi wala na nun. Modern equipment, mataas yung sweldo.
Yes, very good.
Tapos yung corruption sa military very minimal na. Talagang professionalized na yung ranks. So yung internal causes for doing a military intervention wala. So external lang. Ngayon ang factors going for the president is unang-una pro-China si Sara. So it matters a lot. Hindi tipong you don't hand over the power of the presidency to such Yeah. So yun nga yung pagkatao din niya, maraming naniniwala sa AFP na talagang may diferensya sa pag-iisip si Sara. Maraming generals, kahit yung mga Duterte generals, ilang sila kay Sara. They know something's wrong with her. So yun ang things going for the president. Kaya hindi parang bakit, 'di ba?
Yeah.
From the
Why
frying
would they
pan
risk
into the
anything?
fire.
Oo.
Bakit natin gagawin 'yon? It will because they know that things would be worse under a Sara administration.
No, but apart from that, do they also, is it important to them? Prinsipyo ba sa kanila yon, yung loyal ka sa Constitution? Loyal ka sa flag? Na hindi ka, sige, mag-withdraw ako ng suporta. Because,
They
diba,
can always justify. In our case nga, nakalagay sa Constitution, the AFP is the protector of the people in the state. So, when we exposed sina Gloria Arroyo nun, and I went to her, I talked to her muna bago kami lumabas.
Yeah. No, I remember that, yung kinuwento mo,
Yes,
she was, sabi mo pa she was yakking and yakking. Alala kayo. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
But then, ang point nito is, yung mga ganyang justifications, moral justifications yan eh.
Yeah.
So, pagka na-resolve mo na yung moral question, that
Wala na.
is this the moral thing to do?
Yeah.
Madja-justify mo na yun. Lahat. Then, you'll just have to live with the consequences kung hindi kayo magsasucceed.
And additionally, and I think most importantly, it was the president himself who blew the whistle on this.
Yeah.
With his mahiya naman kayo statement sa State of the Nation niya.
So that
hindi ba sa
matters.
kanya mismo nanggaling?
So that matters. Pero what I'm saying is, to address your question, is yung EDSA DOS, for example, nag-withdraw sila ng support. Technically, they were not loyal to the Constitution and the chain of command. But nanalo sila, na-justify yun. Alam mo yun, ganun lang yan.
Parang EDSA 86.
Parang EDSA 86.
Ganyan din. Kung manalo ka, justify.
Yeah, justify.
Talo ka, hindi ka.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but iba yung temperament sa AFP. There is no danger now except for yung mga lone wolf, kagaya nung, yun nga yung isang colonel na nag-withdraw na support. We're not ruling out future occurrences na ganon, pero wala na yung organisado kagaya nung nagawa namin. There is no recruitment happening. They tried 2 years ago, nagre-recruit yung mga grupo nila Duterte, but walang kumagat. So that's a good thing.
Okay. Sansani, I really should thank you because we covered so many things and I really appreciate your perspective and the way you spoke so freely. I wanted to ask you to give some final words lang, no? But if you want to wrap things up and a final message lang to those who are listening and watching.
Well, thank you lang. Thank you for inviting me, Miss Pia, for this sa podcast mo, and I'm looking forward to your future episodes. Thank you, ma'am.
We're looking forward to what's gonna happen next. Kasi medyo bitin kasi
marami.
Ang ganda ng sa mga kwento mo, ang dami pang mangyayari.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Senator Sonny Trillanes, former Senator Sonny Trillanes, sir, thank you very much for being with us on Let's Talk. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.